Needless Things Podcast. Hey, Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest episode of the Needless Things Podcast, where we talk about toys, movies, music, and all manner of pop culture dorkery. I am your host, Dave, and no intro this week. We are going straight into this thing with our pal, our head of research, Mr. Ryan Schwack.
Hey, it's great to be back talking toys as always, even though I don't feel like I'm going to spend much money this year, which is a weird feeling.
Well, to be fair, though, PulseCon hasn't happened yet.
Well, PulseCon's going to bleed me dry.
But... Right. So the reason there's no intro this week, everybody can go and listen to the extra content we have in the form of an Audible interlude episode reviewing Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins. Lots and lots of stuff going on this week. So we're just getting straight into the material for this episode, which I think it's going to be a little bit more of a conversation than it looks like on paper, because I actually have my notes from last year, and we're going to do a little bit of follow-up from last year's episode as far as which companies delivered on what we think of some of the stuff that was announced last year, a year later. So we got a couple of those kinds of things to talk about too. But before we get to, and we can't call it San Diego Comic-Con. What do we call this?
Well, so let's start with that. Like, get your shit together, San Diego. Like, last year was totally understandable. You know, it was brand new. It, happened quick. But San Diego announced their cancellation relatively early compared to the rest of the cons. So they knew this was coming. And compared to some of the other cons, their online stuff sucks. Now, I know that's not all their fault. Like, Hasbro's doing their own thing, Mezco's doing their own thing, but even just panels were garbage at San Diego this year.
Well, you know how garbage it was. It's so garbage that I didn't know there was even a presence. I didn't actually know there was anything going on because I was just watching the toy news pretty much.
Yeah, like nobody showed, nobody did anything. And it makes me real curious about next year, and we'll talk about Hasbro later, but Hasbro has been, I would argue, mega successful with these Fan Fridays, doing the individual properties, and then having their Pulse Cons twice a year. Like, if I'm Hasbro, I'm thinking I'm not spending the money to go to San Diego next year.
Well, and that's the thing, not only Hasbro, but you got to think about the big movie studios and everything as well. Like, having gone 2 years now without what used to be sort of a linchpin of pop culture, and I do wonder if they'll sort of take a step back and think, why do we need that?
Yeah. I mean, if I can put it online and I can show millions and millions of people, I mean, the buzz does, I think, for some movies might buzz some smaller projects or anything like that. But do I need a room full of people to get excited about Captain Marvel 2 or Black Panther 2? Nope. Everybody's excited about it already.
Well, that's my son and I were just talking about, because we've been wondering, when does the next Spider-Man trailer come out? And he's like, do they even need to make a trailer? No.
Yeah.
All they need to do is say, Spider-Man No Way Home coming November whatever, and we're going to be there. I don't need a trailer.
All they need to do is call up Tobey Maguire, pay him $1,000 to wear a t-shirt with just the date of the release on it. And that's all it's got to say. And he just walks around New York. Boom. Everybody's ready.
Instant marketing. So that's San Diego Comic-Con was basically a non-thing this year. And if you're listening and you were invested in some way or following stuff along and had a good time, let us know. Hit us up in the Needless Things Podcast Facebook group, or hit up Needless Things on Twitter. If you feel like you did have a great time and if there were things to enjoy. But to me, it was really more each of these toy companies kind of having their independent releases via Instagram, Facebook, however they did it, email in some cases.
I mean, I really think just maybe as a suggestion for the title of the episode, instead of San Diego, which it's obviously not, perhaps we could do the Toys of Summer.
And the Toys of Summer. That's
Well, what's his name? Who sang that song, The Voice of
Kenny
Summer?
Loggins, right?
Oh, no, it's Don something.
Oh, Don, is it Don Henley?
I think it's Don Henley. Yeah.
You're right. I'm thinking of Playing with the Boys.
Oh yeah, that's the follow up. Playing with the toys. That's when you get
Playing with the toys. That's right. That's right. We'll do that for the Top Gun toy reviews that are certainly coming soon. All right. So yeah,
they
the
already
toys
came
of
out.
summer. Well, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they were out last year. That actually happened. All right. So before we get to the toys of SummerCon or whatever, yesterday this past Wednesday, we had another big Marvel Legends Hasbro Pulse event, and I hadn't intended to. I don't always watch the videos. A lot of times I just go straight to the Toy Arc, which for the listeners, if you want to see pictures of everything we're talking about, toyarc.com is the place to go. Or Toy Newsy is pretty good, except that they're no longer just Toy Newsy. They're also Movie Newsy and TV Newsy and all kinds of other bullshit I don't care about Newsy. So it's a little hard to sift through for the good stuff. But on Wednesday, there was another really cool Marvel Legends panel. And once I saw what the announcements were, we actually went back and watched the panel because I was interested to see them talk about some of the designs and the things that they did for these announcements. And I was interested to hear them beg for people to back Galactus.
I don't know what's going to happen with that Galactus. I mean, I think like Sentinel, they're going to make it. They're at like, as we record, I think they're around 10,000 right now out of 14,000 needed. So I think by the end, even if they don't hit that mark, they're gonna make it.
Now, are you backing this thing?
I'm not. I mean, that thing.
Really?
I didn't get the Sentinel either. No,
Yeah, but Galactus.
I know, and it's, don't get me wrong, it is an amazing toy. It is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. But honestly, with the space I have, like, I'm still happy with my Toy Biz Galactus enough.
Yeah.
And I mean, the thing is the size of a toddler. I don't know where I would put that thing. Now I know they're probably going to put some stretch goals out. We know Silver Surfer's one of them because you can clearly see it in the teaser image.
And then Nova, right?
Well, no, Nova's a Walgreens.
Well, no. The female Nova that was a herald of Galactus. She's in the silhouette. She's because they're the first two stretch goals.
Yeah.
I thought I had managed because I didn't back the Sentinel either, even though I'm an X-Men guy. Yeah. I'm happy. Well, I've got the Toy Biz Sentinel and I've got the Hasbro Sentinel that they released for the 3 3/4 inch figures that I think is great.
Yeah, it is.
And I just don't need a bigger Sentinel for not for that amount of money. And Galactus, I thought I got through free and clear, but my son is collecting and he was like, I want that Galactus. And I was like, well, is that what you want from me and your mom for Christmas? But you don't get it until next fall. And he was like, yes. And I said, you understand, you don't get it until next fall. You may not even want it anymore by then. And he's like, no, I have to have this. So I'm back in the damn thing.
Nice. It's going to be great. So,
dude, the one picture that I keep going back to that my brain almost can't reconcile is the one of the Galactus figure next to the Reed Richards figure.
Yeah.
The scale.
What got me, now, did you watch the video for Galactus?
Yes.
When he picks it up and he's like holding it, I was like, that is the most insane thing I've seen. But I mean, it's beautiful. The sculpting, the heads they're putting in, like, yeah, it's an amazing toy.
Well, even in this new video where he explains that the electronics in the head and the electronics in the body are two separate things. And the head is actually, because that was one of my concerns, was like, is the head just going to be stuck because of the electronics? But the head is actually still on a ball joint and is superposable because it has its own electronic setup that's separate. So there's no wiring going between the two.
Well, and that leads people to think one of the stretch goals is another head. That
it'll be an alternate head.
I think it will be. I think it's going to be a Franklin Richards head.
Oh, interesting.
from that whole little storyline. So that would be really cool.
Well, I was thinking one of them might be because they have said that the chest piece is removable.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking one of them is probably the classic G.
Yeah.
I don't know. We either will or won't find out, I guess.
Well, and I can't get this one because I'm definitely backing the next HasLab project, which was announced over San Diego-ish time that they are going to make the Rancor for the Black Series.
Oh, tell me about this because I didn't see much about this because I'm not. I've got 2 vintage collection scale Rancors, so I'm good to go.
And we don't know anything about it. All they have said is yes, that is the next one. Like the Rancor is coming. We've seen it before, or at least a version of it. It was on display,
diorama, right?
Yeah, San Diego a couple of years ago, and there's all sorts of rumors what this thing's going to come with. That it might include a new Jabba with a throne.
Oh my gosh.
It might include I'm sure it's going to include the Rancor.
Well, it's got to have Malakili.
Yeah, it's going to have Malakili. Now, he better be crying. Or I want a crying.
Well, I want two portraits.
Yeah.
I want just swappable faces because he's got the hood.
Mm-hmm.
So just give him a swappable face of one regular face and one crying face.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to throw in the guard that comforts him while he cries, I mean, I think you kind of have to have that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I won't get it because I'm out of Black Series, but I'm all for that. I think that's great, and I think that will have no problem. I think that'll fund as quickly as the Razor Crest and Jabba's sail barge. Yeah. I think the Rancors. Now, think about how big, though. It's going to have to be as big as Galactus, right?
I mean, no, close. But it'll be about that big. I mean, I think it's going to be about Sentinel size. Picture
a Black Series Luke in a Rancor hand. Like dude, picture. That's pretty big.
It's going to be
big. And that's what I'm coming up against is because I just added 2 new 48 by 24 shelf units to the room for my vintage G.I. Joe stuff. And actually all day long, I've been moving my Marvel Legends over into the space where my vintage Joe was. I'm moving my MCU back into the main room where the Marvel Legends were. And let me just tell you how much fun it is. Like, when you touch a Marvel Legends figure, there's a possibility it's never going to stand up again.
Yep. Especially some of those older ones, those female figures.
Well, no, even the White Queen from the Hellfire Club box set, I can't get that thing to stand up, dude.
Mine is still safely in her box.
Well, and that's the thing is those look beautiful mint in box. So that's probably a good plan, but oh my gosh. So anyway, that's one of the things I'm running into is there's so much stuff that I want. And we'll talk about this on the next episode of Audible Interlude next week. Super 7 announces those G.I. Joe Ultimates.
Oh,
dude, Sunbow, accurate, gorgeous. I backed those immediately. So that was essentially my choice because Mattel has did you see this Mattel wrestling ring?
Yes.
So this is for anybody that was watching WWF in like the 90s. Mattel, they are offering their first backer funded HasLab analog, whatever you want to call it. It's the old neon WWF entryway. The first ever completely accurate scale ring that not only is scaled to the size of the WWE figures, but when you pull the mat back, it has wooden planks. Now they're plastic, but they're sculpted to look like wooden planks, like a real wrestling ring. The ring ropes look accurate. The turnbuckles have the actual like snaps and everything. Like this thing is incredible.
It's got like the skirt too, right?
Yeah, it's got the apron. It's got the mat. And then that entryway is huge. When you look at the pictures of this, you don't understand how big that entryway is actually going to be, because what's in front of it is the ultimate diesel figure, good old Kevin Nash, who actually I was working with today for the Big Damn Game Show, not the real Kevin Nash, a cutout, but that's okay. So this ultimate diesel figure, this entryway, which is at least going to be a foot tall, I've got to think, and has flashing LEDs. It doesn't just press a button and light up. It actually oscillates like the old entryway. It's got a fabric curtain. Like, this set is incredible. The first stretch goal is an ultimate Doink figure. 3 different heads, comes with the hammer. It's good heel Doink, Matt-born Doink. And then the next stretch goal is a set of ring aprons for WrestleMania and for In Your House. Like, this is incredible.
That's awesome.
But I don't have the space for something that big. And there are, like I said, basically the choice I had to make was that or those G.I. Joe Ultimates. And every time I'm going to choose G.I. Joe.
I mean, I'll tell you the G.I. Joe, and obviously we won't get too into them, but I've done really well not getting the classified figures. I've gotten 1 or 2 that I needed just because, you got to get some of them.
Yeah.
But man, those Ultimates, when they started showing them, I'm going to have to buy them. Like that Cobra Commander.
It touches you right in your nostalgia place.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, as much as I loved my vintage Joes, and I never had a problem with them the way that I did with some other toy lines. I loved them. But these Ultimates, this is the Sunbow stuff. This is what I wanted my vintage Joes to. This is what they looked like in my head, basically. And all the accessories that they come with. And dude, this is the ultimate G.I. Joe line. It really is. And yes, it's pricey, but if you compare it, you can't compare these to classified series.
No.
Because one, they're completely different. They come with different things. People complain about the articulation, but and actually, I want to ask you about this. I'm getting to a point in my life as a collector where it's almost more important to me for the figure to look good than to have a shit ton of articulation.
Yeah.
Like all of the Super 7 stuff, the Thundercats, the Ninja Turtles, they have plenty of articulation. They don't have double jointed knees and elbows, but how useful are double jointed knees when the ankles can only bend so far?
Right. I mean, there is a few figures I'm always going to want super articulation. Like Spider-Man, I want the gamut.
But Spider-Man he can't get the true deep Spider-Man squat because you just can't make ankles that work well enough with the double jointed knees. You can't do it.
Yeah. And it's funny because I remember back, whenever it was the late 90s when Marvel Legends Spider-Man Classics is starting and McFarlane was still big, and I was like, oh, these McFarlane statues, who wants this? I want my Marvel Legend that has 50 points of articulation. And you look at those things now and you're like, this is hideous.
They look so bad, especially, and look, I'm sure there are plenty of toy manufacturers listening to this episode right now, right? For anybody out there that's making toys, stop giving anything that fucking toe joint.
Yeah.
The toe joint is the most worthless piece of shit. This goes to Mattel for your Ultimates. This goes to McFarlane Toys. Just don't even put that toe joint in there. It's so stupid.
It really is.
Especially when they do the toe joint where it doesn't have a stopping point. So like it just flips all the way up like an old Mad Magazine Don Martin cartoon.
Yep. But yeah, but I mean, I think NECA, they've hit a good kind of sweet spot with their articulation.
Yeah.
Super 7 definitely has, where it's got enough. I can do what I want to do with it, and it doesn't hinder what it looks like on my shelf.
It's funny. I was listening to an interview with Brian Flynn, the main Super 7 guy, and they were asking him about, because the Super 7 has done some wrestling figures as well, some New Japan Pro Wrestling figures, and they make the shirts just slide on like normal t-shirts, whereas WWE figures have Velcro in the back to put the t-shirt on. And they asked him, they were like, how come you did it that way? Why don't your shirts have Velcro? And he's like, because t-shirts don't have Velcro in the back. Like, he was like outraged that they would even suggest that. And I kind of loved that, because I get it. He's going for as true to form as possible while still having articulation. And I respect the hell out of that, man. That's, at this point in my life, that's what I want.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's talk, before we get into the toys this summer, let's talk about what Hasbro showed us on Wednesday. We got to see the What If series of Marvel Legends, a couple of retro, or I guess one retro figure. And was that it? I thought it felt like more than that, but I guess the begging for Galactus took up a little bit of time, didn't it?
Yeah. It was just that the wave. Well, it's the wave of What If, the deluxe What If, and then the retro Tigra.
So let's talk about Tigra first, because we had seen her before, but now we get the full look at the figure, the packaging, the pricing, everything else. Which, by the way, these retros are apparently going to be $24.99 now.
Golly.
Yeah. And do you think that she had to be because she's not direct market, what do they call it? Fan channel.
Fan channels, yep.
Do you think that she had to be a fan channel because she's in this bikini?
Yeah, probably so. And let's be honest.
Which is weird, because just last year they were selling butt naked Mystique.
Right. Well, and like Tigra, like, you're going to release her to Walmart, and to get the levels that you need, Tiger's not really going to sell.
That's true. That's true.
She's not anything, and they know everybody's excited about Tigra. She's one of the ones that's needed an update for the longest.
Yeah.
That old Tigra is a piece of garbage. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited about her. I think she looks great. Do you have any of the new figures with the pinless arms and legs?
Yeah, I've got a couple, and it's, dude, it makes all the difference in the world, because one of my biggest complaints about Marvel Legends is when you get like a Spider-Man figure and he's got those damn red pens showing through in the blue arms, drives me crazy.
Yeah, I haven't bought any of the retro Spider-Man, Pizza Spider-Man, all of them, because I knew this was coming. And you got to think that's one of the first ones
it has to be high on their list of like, and I hope it's going to be one of these retro style releases. Obviously, it would need to be mass market, but give us penless Spidey, just classic blue and red, like basically a redo of that last retro Spidey that they did.
Yeah.
But I mean, you should be able to walk into a store and buy a Spider-Man Marvel Legends figure anytime you want.
Yeah, and I think one thing they could do that they haven't done is give us more of a classic teenage Spidey. It would set him apart a little bit, make him a little smaller.
Well, like the Ultimate Spider-Man that came with that Ultimate Vulture.
Yep.
Because that's a smaller buck. And that's what I prefer. Like, I like Spider-Man to be visibly smaller than everybody else, because to me, that's a big part of his story. Even going into the MCU, Tom Holland, physically smaller than everybody that he's acting with, and it adds to his drama, I guess.
Yeah, totally agree.
So Tiger looks great. She's West Coast Avengers, right?
Yeah, that's her West Coast Avengers look.
So yeah, I mean, she's a must-have for anybody who's into that, which is not necessarily me, but I think she looks great. And then we move on to the What If wave, which, when I first saw these, I was very disappointed that they look so cartoony.
It's a weird, I don't know. The Into the Spider-Verse are that kind of cartoony look too.
Right. And that's what made me realize, like, they should look like this.
Yeah. And I was surprised. Do you have the Into the Spider-Verse figures?
No, because I was 1000% going to buy them. And then I ended up getting them for my son, and I was like, yeah, he's got them. They don't go with my collection. There's
Yep.
nowhere to put them. And as much as I think that's like one of the best Marvel movies ever, uh, there's just there's nowhere to put it. Now, if they come back with a second wave and they do like Kingpin
Mm-hmm.
and fill it out a little bit more, I might be a little more tempted. But
Which you got to think when the second movie comes out, they'll do it again. But
yeah,
on the shelf, it looks odd. Like
yeah,
there's
they don't fit.
There's this weird little section on one of my shelves where these like 4 cartoony figures are.
Well, it's like trying to mix MCU figures in with regular Marvel Legends. It doesn't work.
Yep.
Yeah, you just can't do it. Well, okay, I can't do it. There may be people out there who don't care, who have no sense of aesthetic whatsoever. And that's fine. That's fine. There's no problem with that. But I can't do it. And these what if figures look fantastic.
They do.
But again, they just don't fit with either one of the things that I have.
Yep.
So as much as I would love to have this Captain Carter, and I think she's probably the least cartoony of them, but she is still cartoony. This is a pass for me. The whole wave is.
Yeah, I think if I see Captain Carter on the shelf, I might end up with her just because, like you said, she's a little less cartoony. I think she looks really good. But yeah, the rest of them, I'm going to pass on them. Now, I don't love that this is how they're going to do the Watcher, that, he's the Build-A-Figure. Now, he is the cartoon version of the Watcher, so that's not to say they aren't going to do it down the line. But what we know now is you just have to wait. Like, Hasbro's going to put him out as a deluxe figure. They're going to do it. So, yeah, I'll wait for that Watcher. I've got the Marvel Select one ordered that fits really well with Marvel Legends. So
yeah, I've got that one too, and he goes right in. He's not a lot of the select. Mostly, if your select figures don't fit, it's because of scale.
Mm-hmm.
But with him, like, he's supposed to be larger. The articulation doesn't stand out as being significantly different, so he fits with your Marvel Legends just fine.
Yeah. Oh, that is the other one. They did show one more. I forgot about it. They're re-releasing the Vulture.
Oh, which is infuriating. Well, okay, it's great that they're re-releasing it as more movie accurate, and I appreciate the transparency that they've had, not just with this Vulture, but with Fat Thor, and with the oh gosh, what are they called? Thanos's people, the Black Order.
Oh yeah.
The transparency that they've had, we're like, look, we had to go back and revisit these, or be glad that it took this long to come out, because these aren't always accurate. We work with what Disney provides us, but a lot of times that means the figures are not accurate. And I like that they just come right out and say that, as opposed to trying to like act like something else is the situation. They're willing to just say, look, if you wait a little while, you're going to get better figures. And that's out of our hands. It's just how it is.
Yep.
I love that. I think that's great. So yeah, I'll get that Vulture because I never got the other one because I didn't want that entire wave. But it does drive me crazy that it doesn't come with an unmasked face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird it does it. And I mean, I guess, does Keaton do his likeness like that? Or I'm trying to think last time we got a Keaton likeness.
The only Keaton likeness figures we've gotten are Hot Toys. I believe they did an unmasked Batman Returns, like where he rips his mask off. I believe they did that, and they might have even done a tuxedo Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I seem to remember a Bruce Wayne figure.
But I don't think, because Mattel did a multiverse unmasked Batman, but it was the little 3 3/4 inch, barely a likeness type thing. So I don't know that it was Michael Keaton's likeness. So I don't think there's a lot out there that actually has his likeness. I don't know how, because NECA, did the quarter scale figure and the 10th scale figure, but that's just his jaw. So I don't know how far they have to go with that. I don't know. I don't know.
It's definitely not in the Mezco one.
No, no, it's not.
Well,
Which is
who
wild.
knows? Who knows if that Mezco one actually exists? I mean,
Well,
we paid
right.
money for it, but who knows where that
Yeah, it's paid for, and it was supposed to be out last October, I think. But whatever, it's fine. It's fine. All right, so yeah, that was what we got from Marvel. Oh, and then the Hydra Stomper, which is basically the big guy from
Yeah.
Rusty and Rusty the Boy Robot. Like, this is basically the big guy for Marvel, which is fine. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Looks awesome. It's a great armored. I don't know if it's fully a robot or if it's a dude in armor, but either way, it's a great looking figure. But man, $55.
Yeah.
Woo! And they were putting over how it's almost as, or it's taller than the Hulkbuster and almost as big. But I mean, that's going to be a pass for me too, just because I'm not getting anything else from this line.
Yeah. Same here.
All right. Well, let's now it is time to move on to well, we've got a little bit of follow-up first. So last year, I was very, very excited about this Megalopolis Toys, who have turned out to be the ultimate dirtbags of the toy selling industry.
I tell you what.
If you look up Megalopolis Toys, you will come across hundreds of complaints about them just not shipping things, all kinds of crazy stuff. Last year, they announced a series of Mad Balls figures, which I pre-ordered because I can't not pre-order Mad Balls. No sign of anything from these alleged crooks. I don't want to say anything that's too submissible in a court of law, but no update whatsoever this year. And they have offered other pre-orders as well. Barnyard Commandos they put up. I feel like there's been at least one other line of complete apparent lies. And what breaks my heart, though, about the Mad Balls is they actually had James Groman work on these things. He was one of the guys that worked on the original Mad Balls. He created My Pet Monster. And this poor guy, this artist, this creator, backed this thing that appears to be complete bullshit. So, I mean, we'll keep you updated, but apparently Megalopolis Toys is just absolute lying garbage.
Yeah.
And if it changes, we'll let you know. So last year, I also wondered if, remember the pre-orders and how frustrating they were last year? Instant sellouts, very difficult to actually get in there and order the Target exclusives, the Walmart exclusives, even stuff on Pulse was selling out in minutes last year.
Mm-hmm.
My belief at the time, I pondered, is this all intentional just to keep our interest in these things and just to keep the hype alive? And looking back, I think yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because for everything that was announced and pre-ordered last year, you could buy pretty much whatever you want. Like, at no point was there an item that we talked about last year that you couldn't just buy once it was released.
Yeah, for the most part. There's been some Star Wars Black stuff that was hard to get.
Mostly the Walmart exclusives, though, right?
Right. Yeah, mostly the Walmart exclusives. But even like some of the box sets and stuff kind of came back up. They were sold out and then mysteriously you could all of a sudden buy more.
Yeah.
Cobra Island definitely feels like a sham.
Well, but they've done to make good on that.
They have.
A couple of weeks ago, if you were paying attention, now to be fair, you had to be paying attention, but Target put pre-orders back up. I was able to order one more Viper, which for a troop builder, that's actually pretty shitty. But I was able to get a Baroness. Like, if you were okay with one of everything, you were pretty much able to get one of everything.
Yeah.
And I'll be curious to see what hits stores, because obviously Snake Eyes is out now. Uh, I've seen I've got the classified series figures, which you can see my reviews on the Needless Things YouTube channel. And then the kids line is showing up in stores now too. I've seen a couple of those. So with Walmart and Target both doing resets in the next couple of weeks, I'm wondering if we're going to see a big G.I. Joe presence related to Snake Eyes, and if potentially all the Cobra Island stuff will be part of that.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
can
know. We'll
definitely see
see.
that.
We'll
Yeah,
find out.
I'm curious how Walmart, they're even though Hasbro's having HasCon, they did release some Star Wars figures, some TVC, and some Black Series. And the Black Series sold out real fast. But I wonder if we'll see end caps again, like we saw with the Clone Wars wave.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the next couple of weeks bring with these back. They're because they're basically back to school resets, because they know people are going in for school supplies or whatever, and they'll reset the toy aisle as well. So we'll see what happens. And then one final note, a follow up from last year before we move on to specifics. Guess who delivered almost everything that was announced last year? McFarlane Toys and NECA. Everything that you and I talked about last year from McFarlane and NECA hit shelves and happened.
Yeah. And, as much of a disaster NECA was for a while at Target, I've seen almost everything now. Like, I don't get them, but those Turtles figures, you can find them if you look. Like,
yes, if you're on top of it, you can get this stuff. If you expect somebody to bring it to your door, then you're out of luck. But if you're even a slightly skilled toy hunter, there is nothing from NECA that hasn't been relatively available, because I'm not collecting the animated Turtles, and I've seen pretty much everything at some point.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about, because part of the magic of this time of year is all of the pre-orders that go up, whether it's for exclusives or whether it's for new product. I want to talk a little bit about how successful we were with getting our pre-orders in, or if there was even anything you pre-ordered. I'll just say right now, my biggest wants for this time of year, Mattel did an Ultimate Sergeant Slaughter figure and a Masters of the Universe Revelation Scareglow figure, that because the last couple of years they've done these through Entertainment Earth. This year they did them through Mattel Creations, which as soon as I heard that, my butthole puckered up and I had painful flashbacks to MaddieCollector.com.
Start to see that face of Maddie again.
Yes, that big white screen with that douchebag little cartoon character. And I was just like, this is going to be horrible. But again, and I'm not trying to say that casual fans have no problem at all, but for me, as somebody who's on top of toy news, I was able to order 2 Slaughters and 1 Scareglow. No problem at all. Now, I understand they sold out in like 4 or 5 minutes or whatever, but I got in there, I ordered them. They're, whenever they ship, which is supposed to be in the next couple of weeks, they're on the way. But my wife, I had asked her to get on and order a couple of Slaughters, because there's a freaking Chase variant.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Dude, okay. So the regular release is on that blue card that looks like the old LJN figures.
Yep.
There's a variant that's on a black card. So I asked her if she could get on and order 2 more, because 2 was the maximum order limit. And she said she was on at noon, put them in the cart, and then by the time she got to checkout, they were sold out. So experiences differed. But I got mine, so I can't be too mad about it. Were there any, and again, PulseCon isn't for another month or so. What are you going to do if PulseCon is at the same time as DragonCon?
I'm going to go to my hotel room and watch PulseCon.
Would they have, because they haven't announced the date yet, have they?
I think they said October. It's usually October.
Oh, I thought it was late September.
It might be. Maybe it is late.
Okay.
It's right around late September, early October. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't get anything. And part of the problem was, like we said, those Black Series, they did the Clone Wars figures. They did ARC Trooper, General Grievous, and Mace Windu from
Right.
the Clone Wars, not to be mistaken with Clone Wars.
Yes.
But the problem is they didn't show pictures of them. All you can see is a thumbnail of a picture from the cartoon. And so I don't know. I didn't order them because I get the feeling, just because they're based on that animation, they're going to be cartoony. And I've got those characters already in my Black Series collection.
Right.
So I didn't get them. And again, if they may come out and look really awesome, like that Grievous, I could see looking really good. And so if I see it in the store, they'll come out in the store. So
see, my assumption was that they were just going to be re-releases of Black Series figures they'd already done, but on carding that looked like that.
Yeah, and they might be, but they just re-released Mace Windu on the Phantom Menace card back. So yeah, I don't know. So I didn't.
That'll be interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize they hadn't specified what those figures were going to be. So I got Mondo released a 7-inch of 2 pieces of music from The Shining. I got that no problem whatsoever. Vintage Collection pre-orders went up for a bunch of Clone Wars figures. I didn't need the clones, but I ordered Luminara, Unduli, Ayla Secura, and Barasofi because I've got those figures, but Hasbro has proven to me that their vintage collection upgrades are worth getting over the past couple of years. So I went ahead and ordered those and got them no problem. Again, I was paying attention to when they went up on Walmart, but got them no problem. I got the Compound Hulk from Walmart.
Did you buy the Compound Hulk?
Well, it's for my son. It's for Phantom Jr. I didn't care about it, but I know he wants it. And then the last thing that I did get, the retro G.I. Joes, which, they've been doing the retro Joes for a little over a year now, and they haven't really, I've got a pretty good collection of 25th, 30th, and 50th anniversary figures. But they have sort of turned a corner with the retro Joes where there's new tooling because they're now being made in Vietnam.
Okay.
So it's almost like they're restarting the series with a Cobra Trooper, a Cobra Officer, Stalker, and Grunt. And I just reviewed Stalker on the Needless Things YouTube channel, so everybody check that out.
I've seen Stalker in a store.
Dude.
He's nice. I stopped and looked at it, and I was like, wow, that looks way better than that crappy Duke.
He almost looks like a 3 3/4 inch scale classified figure.
Yeah.
With the articulation and the proportions. So I'm actually pretty stoked about these retro Joes now. And I ordered, Stalker is already here. I've already got him and reviewed him. I ordered that Grunt. I ordered the Cobra Trooper and the Cobra Officer. I don't care about the Hiss 2 because I've got the Hiss 3. I've got the original Hiss 3. But if they're with the tooling from that Stalker, they could redo the original 1982 Joes.
Yeah.
And if they're going to do that, I'm in. I'm excited. But again, for more on that, check out next week's episode of Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast. The thing that shocked me the most about all these pre-orders and everything is I ordered nothing from Super 7 this year.
Yeah.
This is the first year in like 4 or 5 years that I have not ordered any of their Comic-Con stuff. All right. So moving on, we already talked about Galactus. There is a company. Oh, let me do a little click on this. How have I put a link in my notes here. There we go. There's a company called Asmus Toys that are doing a 1/6 scale Evil Dead 2 Ash. Did you see this thing?
I haven't. I'm looking for it right now.
Oh, hang on. I'll send you a link in the chat so you can check it out. As everybody knows, Evil Dead 2 is kind of my jam. So I'm not in. I can't do it. I got Mezco's 112 Ash. How many ashes do I really need? And I mean, it looks incredible. And there's a deluxe, or I'm sorry, it's not a deluxe version. It's the luxury edition.
Oh yes, you're right. I saw that because I remember it being called
The
luxury version.
That comes with some extra stuff, or actually quite a bit of extra stuff. I mean, this thing looks incredible. It's got a regular shirt and a torn up shirt from later in the movie. It's beautiful. But my gosh, how much stuff can I buy, you guys?
Yeah. And look at they got, Bruce Campbell's head is pretty good. We've talked about he's, for whatever reason, he's a hard one for people to do.
Well, I think part of the reason he's tough to get is because we've grown up with Bruce Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
So when we think of him, we're not actually seeing what he looked like in 1987. We're seeing what our brain has created from our familiarity with him from 1981 to now. So if you actually go back and watch Evil Dead 2, you're like, oh shit, this is exactly what he looked like.
Yeah.
But your brain just doesn't recognize that because we've known this guy for 40 years now.
Yeah, that may be it. But yeah, it's good. I mean, luxury is really funny though.
Yeah, I love that it's called the luxury edition. It's beautiful. It's great, and I just wanted to mention it here. It's not anything that I can add to my collection, but it's great. And another weird thing, just kind of out of left field. Did you see that McFarlane Lobo?
Yes,
dude.
There's something weird about the face, but other than that, I think it looks good, but I've got that DC Classics Lobo,
you're one of the few that does, though, because there's so few Lobo figures out there, because when he gets made, he sells. So unless you just jump on it, or unless you find one, because very often you're just not going to find a Lobo when it gets made. Because yours is a Comic-Con exclusive, right?
Yeah, it is.
He just doesn't get made all that often. I just thought it looked cool and was worth mentioning.
Now, I'm looking up, speaking of Lobo, I'm trying to think who made it. Oh, I should have had it pulled up.
Storm Collectibles did a pretty amazing looking Lobo.
Let's see. Somebody is putting out the bike.
Whoa, what?
I need to find it. Where did I have it? Hold on.
Oh, wait, I think I know what you're talking about. It's the bike, and it comes with dog, too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, who is doing it? If it's not Storm, who would it even be, though?
It might be Storm. Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to the Collector's Cave, which is a newer Facebook group.
Oh,
it's pretty good though. This guy that runs it, he's on top of it. Posts all sorts of pictures and has decent discussion. Let's see. Guy posts so much. There's the Revelations He-Man. There's the Lobo.
Which, by the way, that Revelations He-Man from the neck down looks awesome, but his head to me looks just so bad.
The space sculpts on all those are like,
yeah,
they're soft, I guess is the best word.
I don't know. They don't. I got Skeletor just because, like I said, I ordered the Scare Glow because he's a glow in the dark skeleton toy. But as much as I love the show, the toy line isn't doing it for me.
Oh my goodness. Well, I might not be able to find this thing.
Well, that's fine. There's if any of the listeners, if you find this Lobo with the motorcycle, and I know what you're talking about, I saw it at some point. Hit us up. Let us know on Twitter, Needless Things, or the Needless Things podcast Facebook group. The last bit of random ephemera that I wanted to touch on that I didn't even catch until just yesterday. They're doing a Super 7 is doing a reaction Michael Knight. Did you see this?
No.
It looks awesome. It looks so good. And Super 7 hasn't really they've done some Masters of the Universe. They did the cats, but they haven't really done vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
But this Michael Knight looks so freaking good. I want it, and I wish Super 7 would do a kit, or I wish somebody would do a kit. Diamond Select did a great kit a few years ago. But Diamond Select also made a great DeLorean from Back to the Future that the batteries rotted within like a month of me getting it. So I'm not too interested in their electronics anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for somebody to throw a kit out there.
Oh yeah, that looks great.
Yeah, it's like I wish. Well, there was somebody. It might have been LJN. I can't remember who it was. Somebody did do kit with Michael Knight when we were kids.
Oh yeah, I had it.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I didn't have it.
That Knight Rider toy was one of my favorite things as a child because and I remember this clear as day. You pushed the license plate down and it talked.
Yes.
And, I loved that thing. I played with it so much.
I didn't even know anybody that had that. Like that, owning that was prestige.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, because I never even saw one in person.
That's one of those things. Like I just think back, like sometimes in my room with my rainbow playset and my Michael Knight, like these clear like properties that I'm pretty sure I didn't really watch at that age, but I had lots of toys of.
All right, so do we want to hit up Mezco first?
Sure, let's get into Mezco. The once future or the once leader of San Diego Comic-Con.
Okay, well,
Lordy.
I've got, before we get into 2021, I've got a little follow-up from 2020. So here are some of the highlights of what Mezco showed us last year. Bishop. Now, has Bishop come out?
Bishop has not come out.
Okay. Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer.
Nope, Death Dealer hasn't come out.
Constantine
has not come out.
The 5 Points Monsters, the Sea Creature, the Frankenstein, the Vampire, and the Mummy. I haven't heard anything about those. Now, they did offer that translucent glow-in-the-dark Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got that, but nothing else about those monsters since then.
Nope.
So, not a lot.
Well, and they had didn't they also have in the book, they had the Black Widow page, and it was like, ooh, they're gonna make a Black Widow figure.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that. They didn't show a product, but the page was there. You're right.
Yeah, I've never seen that. Hadn't heard about it again.
And granted, we have to give a little bit of leeway to all of these companies for obviously the insane shit that's been going on over the last year. So this year, Mezco showed Halloween 3 Living Dead dolls, which I think are phenomenal. Mm-hmm. The Jack-o'-lantern, the witch, and the skeleton in Living Dead doll version. Those are great. My wife collects those. Those are must-haves. I'll be ordering those as soon as they're made available. Mm-hmm. They showed a 112 Collective Gotham by Gaslight Joker, which I suppose was inevitable to go with the Gotham by Gaslight Batman. When's that coming in?
It's in people's houses right now.
What? Really?
So the mystery that is Mezco. They announced that thing. It went to sale on Monday, and people had it delivered on Wednesday.
Whoa.
Like they have it. It's so strange. Like it apparently they just pushed ship and they all went out.
Wow, that's crazy.
And that thing, besides the other fact that, if you've read Gotham by Gaslight, the Joker's not in it. He's on a poster in the background.
Right. Yeah, that's true because he's technically okay. So in my head, that Batman Houdini was a sequel to Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah.
And Joker is in that.
He is in that.
But I don't in my mind's a little. Is this that Joker that was Jack Schadenfreude or whatever?
Kind of.
Or is this just some made up shit?
I think it's a little bit of both. It doesn't exactly match that one. In hand, people have posted a lot of pictures of it. It looks great. It looks creepy.
Yeah.
I am getting, and I think we've probably talked about this before, I'm getting a little sick of Mezco calling figures deluxe so they can charge 20 more bucks when they come with the same amount of stuff, basically, that the old ones came with. But yeah, how Mezco sometimes has a figure ready to go.
Or in the case of Constantine, where they're calling it deluxe and it comes with some extra shit that you don't even really care about. I'd rather it just be a regular figure.
Right. Yeah.
So in the grand tradition of Mezco coming up with things that I didn't know I wanted, Dick Tracy and Flat Top, which shouldn't be a surprise because if they're going after Popeye, it makes sense that more of the classic comic strip characters would be part of this. But just the little previews we saw, these looked awesome.
Yeah, they look fantastic. I'll be curious to see if they kind of continue that and go with, Pruneface and a bunch of other ones. But it's a cheap property. I'm sure they're not paying nothing for that likeness. And
yeah, right.
Judging from how they did Popeye, they are going to look fantastic in person.
Well, and that's exactly what got me so excited about these two is that Popeye, because I got one of the Popeye figures, and I missed out on Popeye and Bluto. Man, the Popeye that I've got is so freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't really cared about Popeye at all since I was a little kid, but it's just a great figure. So this Dick Tracy and Flat Top, I'm going to be keeping an eye on this.
Yeah, same.
Spider-Man 2099, not something I care about at all, but the figure looks great.
He does, and there's so many people excited about that thing.
I think people probably around 10 years younger than us, the 2099 stuff is maybe a bigger deal. Because it just missed me. If I'd been a few years younger, maybe 5 years younger, if I'd been just a little bit younger when 2099 hit, I think it would be one of my things. Kind of like Age of Apocalypse. I was just a little too old to be impressionable enough to care about it. But like I said, the figure looks great. It looks awesome. And then they showed from Silent Hill the Pyramid Head. What?
Hey, don't get me wrong. It looks really good.
But what does it go with?
You're right. You're going to get the one. What are they going to put? Who else is in Silent Hill? The nurse. They could do the nurses.
They could do the nurse. What are they going to do? The chicken and jacket? Whoever the main character is. It's Jacket Chick from Silent Hill. That's, fine, whatever. And look, that Pyramid Head's iconic. We've seen that costume at Dragon Con. Like, that's how big that is. But I don't know, you guys. Maybe there's some other things that you could focus on, that like the 1989 Batman. Let's get that in our hands.
Yeah. Where's my Dr. Doom? Come on, y'all.
This one, huge for me. Again, G.I. Joe. I can't not collect the greatest G.I. Joe line of all time. And Firefly is my favorite character from G.I. Joe. So they showed the 112 Collective Firefly, just the head. I'm in. I don't care when it goes up, how much it is, whatever. I'm in.
Hey, God, and the head they showed looks fantastic, just a
Yes.
picture. But that style of figure and the accessories that Firefly needs,
Oh my gosh.
that is
Yeah.
right up Mezco's alley.
Dude,
They're gonna nail it.
That backpack with the toolkit. And granted, I'm sure they're going to go a step beyond, and he's probably going to have like an additional toolbox of some kind. I can't even imagine what all this is going to have.
And I assume like a suitcase with a light up function, because they love Mezco loves a suitcase with a light up function.
And dude, have you got Two-Face?
No, I didn't get Two-Face.
Dude, Two-Face with the suitcase bomb that lights up, and what's crazy about it is it lights up, and like the tubes of, I guess, explosive material or whatever, like they light up, but then there's a flashing light for the timer in the middle. That's a separate function. Dude, it's crazy. So I ordered Destro, I ordered Roadblock, I'm gonna order Firefly. These are going to be the best G.I. Joe figures ever made. I can't not get them.
Yeah.
And then finally, much in the way that they teased the Fantastic Four, was it late last year or earlier this year?
Yeah, it was. I think they ended up. I think was it February? They did a MezCon around New York Comic Con, or when Toy Fair is.
Yeah, but that was when they went up for pre-order, though, right?
I don't remember,
because I feel like they teased them first with just the Human Torch thing, and then they offered them. But anyway, this year's tease, finally a Robin. So what's this going to be, you think?
I don't know. Mezco is looking for a fight on this one. Like,
right, there's no way they're going to make everybody happy.
So, and after years of, and I say, everybody talks about Mezco's never going to do a Robin. They've said this. Da, 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 da. As far as I've ever been able to tell, they really said that once, and it was years ago at a Comic-Con. I think somebody interviewed them, and they said we won't do Robin. So now they are. It's very clearly the Damien logo.
That's what Phantom Jr. told me, because I didn't know, and he immediately was like, "That's Damien's symbol."
Yeah, it's his. What I could possibly see them doing is maybe doing a Nightwing, a Damien Robin, a Red Hood. I don't know what they do for Tim. I mean, God help us if they do Red Robin or those terrible costumes he wore there for a little while. But maybe they could do like a traditional Tim Robin too.
Well, I gotta think though that there's a decent chance they'll do a series of Robins in the same way that they did the series of Batmans.
Yeah, and it would make sense to put one like with each of your Sovereign Knight, Ascending Knight.
Like, I don't necessarily think they're going to do fish scale panties Robin.
No, yeah, they won't do that.
But I could see a progression of, I don't know, what if they do this? Because the Tim Drake look has been adapted to Dick and to Jason.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see them doing something like that, where the first look is kind of a basic Tim Drake, but maybe comes with heads that are Dick, Tim, Jason.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many possibilities, but no matter what they do, people are going to be disappointed.
Yep. They will be angry. I myself hope it's Damien. I would rather, I think, just for my shelf, have Damien, and then later get a Red Hood and Nightwing. But
I think Damien or Tim lend themselves best to the Mezco aesthetic. But again, it could easily be, like Batman the Animated Series did. It could be Dick with Tim's look.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll find out. But I mean, it's needed.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to do Robin.
Yeah. They really
and as you said, as a follow-up, well, then we've got to have Nightwing.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to have Red Hood. And as Red Hood sells, everybody that gets the Batman family license, makes a Red Hood, and Red Hood sells like mad.
And it's so funny. Like they really do. Like any line that does it, even kids' lines, they're like, "And here's the Red Hood," and you're like,
Right.
"Oh, kids, that's the gun-toting superhero that is bent on
Yeah,
murder."
right.
Like, but yeah, I mean, he'll make a great. He always makes a good figure. He just looks good. It's a
Yeah.
great design.
Yeah, it is. It's a very cool design.
Yeah.
And I would love once they get to Red Hood, I would love to see something that's kind of middle ground between classic Red Hood and what we saw in Arkham Knight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and if they're going to go ahead and do all that, which they probably will, they'll have to do a Batgirl. I kind of
I would
hope.
hope so.
I hope they kind of wait to do Batgirl until they get their female comic book a little more figured out, so she doesn't break.
Yeah, the most recent female figure I've got is the crazy like tank girl Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good, but I did have to get a replacement because her left hand broke off.
Those pegs are just so little.
Yeah.
And I just got that Wonder Woman not too long ago, and she's better. She's better than Catwoman is. But I don't know if that's the same buck they use for that female.
A shit ton of my Marvel Legends just fell off the shelf that I was moving earlier. Looks like Moira McTaggart is the culprit with her damn high heel shoes. And it also looks like that new Jean Grey came down as well. But they didn't take anybody down with them, so that's nice.
My Moria is drunkenly leaning on Professor X's hover chair.
Yeah, right.
Kind of hangs out there.
All right, so moving on to, did you have any other Mezco stuff to bring up?
Yeah, no, that's it.
So moving on real quick, I just want to talk about Mondo. Mondo has really gotten, they've taken a big dive into the toy business. Last year, they announced a Creature from the Black Lagoon, which I have on my shelf right now. I'm looking right at it. And if you want to see a review of that, you can go to the Needless Things YouTube channel. They announced She-Ra for their ongoing Masters of the Universe line. That is not out yet, but they did produce some more art renders of that figure. I think it looks great. And they've really leaned into the Valkyrie thing, I think, for their design, which is cool. And then James Groman designed a Man-Thing vinyl figure, which they announced last year, and this year provided some more detailed art for, but still not available as far as I know. So that's our follow-up from last year. This year, let's talk about that Wolverine.
It's so good.
Did you get it?
I didn't get it because it's 1/6.
But you were tempted, right?
Oh, I was real tempted. And again, it was a space thing because obviously, if you buy that Wolverine, you're not taking that out of the box. Like,
right, that giant
bed
for a 12-inch figure is going on your shelf.
Yeah, and I have no room for that. But man, does it look really good. And he's very sadly looking at his picture.
And for the listeners, this is Wolverine from X-Men the Animated Series, but it is literally designed after the meme of Wolverine looking at the picture of Jean Grey. And the, I guess, Comic-Con exclusive version that we're talking about came in packaging that's Wolverine. It's the figure laying on a bed, and it includes an exclusive sad face that the regular release does not include.
Oh, and the shading on it looks so good. I mean, it's got a really good animated look. Oh, it's wonderful.
So in addition to that, they announced an animated style Magneto. And I got to say, I wish Mondo would switch to 1/12 figures.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, you know what? Okay, if they did, I would be buying them, but I guess I'm glad they're not.
Right.
Because I don't have to spend that money now. The Magneto looks great. Comes with like 5 different portraits, I think. It's got the bearded, the Savage Land, the unhelmeted, the helmeted. Like, it's wild. Comes with everything you basically need for that Magneto. So this is a new thing for Mondo, that because they've done the Batman in the Animated Series figures. And now they're moving into the other great epic cartoon of the 90s, the X-Men, the animated series. They shared a Masters of the Universe Revelation Skeletor, which I'm very curious to see how well that does. I know friend of the show, Mr. Bo Brown, has been collecting Mondo's 1/6 scale Masters of the Universe figures, but I feel like this one is going to be kind of a bigger ask for people.
Yeah, I think he is. And, just to go off on a tangent real fast, if you complain about Revelations, you're wrong.
Oh,
I'm just going to
absolutely.
flat out say it. You're wrong.
That show is fantastic. He-Man is the least interesting thing about Masters of the Universe.
Mhm.
The only legitimate complaint that anybody should have about Masters of the Universe Revelation is that Skeletor is basically Joker. And I did have a big problem with that.
Yeah, I can see that.
But other than that, the show is fantastic.
Mhm.
The other legitimate complaint is it's only 5 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
That I was like, what? We're done? Yeah. So the end of the first season was spoiled by a toy that I bought a month ago.
Mhm.
So that was disappointing. But other than that, it's great. I love it. Like I said, a little bit more detail about their 1/6 scale She-Ra. And then they also showed classic variants of Hordak and Scareglow, which they've already done Hordak and Scareglow in their sort of Mondo style, which very similar to Mezco is kind of an amalgamation of the coolest versions of the characters. But these are strictly based on classic looks for the characters. And then they showed a Man-at-Arms Motubi variant, which has this really weird metallic sheen to it. I don't know how much appeal this is going to have. I guess a lot of people who are more artsy buy Mondo stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess that's who this is aimed at. It's not interesting to me at all. I don't think Bo will be into that one, but for the more artsy, like I'm buying Mondo things because I'm artsy. I don't know. I guess that's who this is for. But
I'm into He-Man, but I'm also an adult.
I guess, right. And then the Scareglow, obviously that's one of my characters that I absolutely love, but I've got the other Mondo Scareglow, and as much as I like this one better, I'm not freaking buying another one, so
yeah.
Whatever. They showed Joker from Batman the Animated Series, looked absolutely fantastic, and then they had a teaser for RJ McCready from The Thing, which isn't he just the hot patoots this year?
Yeah.
Everybody cranking out their Kurt Russell The Thing figures.
Mm-hmm.
Where's our Big Trouble in Little China toy people?
I guess Christmas Chronicles checks aren't going as far as he hoped.
But I mean, I'll be interested to see this one. But as of now, I've got the RJ McCready that NECA put out in the like parka, the winter look. They announced a flamethrower version, which I know I'll buy if I see it in person in a store. But I mean, how many do we need really? All right. Do we want to talk about was there anything from Hasbro worth mentioning, or is everything being held off for PulseCon?
The only kind of bigger reveal Hasbro did was the Afterlife figures, the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And they kind of timed it with the new trailer. I keep forgetting that movie's coming out.
Right. It's been a minute.
Yeah, and they're Hasbro Ghostbusters figures. They look just like the rest of them do. Good or bad, but
and look, I love Dan Aykroyd. He has, through the course of my life, been one of my favorite people. I love Nothing But Trouble unabashedly, but looking at the old Ray Stantz action figure, Dan Aykroyd is a big fat old man.
Uh-huh.
He does not have the same physique as Bill Murray and Ernie Hudson. So sharing that tooling is not acceptable, Hasbro.
Yeah.
It's not even acceptable for the younger Ghostbusters figures. But I do think these figures look great, and I like that they're doing the kids. It's just bizarre to me that they did that. One of my favorite toys that I got last year was that 1/18 scale Ecto 1
Oh yeah.
that has no figures to go with it.
No,
What are they doing?
I
What
don't
is
know.
this?
I finally saw that thing on the shelf, like a box of it, and I picked it up and I was like, "What is this for?" Like it's just sitting there. Like
I
my
mean,
Target has like 5 of them.
It's beautiful. It's the deco on it's incredible. Everything, all the doors open, the things slide out. That's got the little remote. Like it's an incredible toy, but you got no Ghostbusters to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get it. I don't understand. And these don't go with it either.
Nope, they certainly do not.
But Ghostbusters Afterlife coming in, was it November now?
Who knows?
Good Lord. With the seemingly unarticulated Sentinel Terror Dog.
Yeah, the Terror Dog has pants now.
I don't know. I've got my Mezco 112 Ghostbusters. I think they're the best Ghostbusters figures that will ever be made, and that's what I'm sticking with.
Yeah.
Although I will say there's some neat extras that come with these. The Winston figure comes with the classified ad. Although it's stuff from the first movie, so it doesn't make sense that the old versions are coming with this. The Peter figure comes with the flashcards, and the Ray figure comes with something else. I can't remember what it is. Neat little details. I like it, but and all of the elder Ghostbuster figures come with plasma streams.
That was a big thing. I noticed that.
Yeah, so that's nice. Or proton streams, whatever the heck it is.
And they have hoses.
And they have hoses, which is a big deal. All right. Moving along to NECA. Quick 2020 follow-up for NECA. They announced last year the Christmas Fiend, which I have on my shelf. New Blood Jason from Friday the 13th, which is coming any day now. Ultimate Ghostface on my shelf. Creepshow Animated, available now in stores. Back to the Future 1955 Doc in stores. 85 Marty in stores. 2015 Marty on my shelf. Tales from Space Marty on my shelf. Animated TNT. Baxter, Vern, Rat King, Muckman with Joe Eyeball, Mondo Gecko, and then so Muckman and Mondo Gecko went up for pre-order or are up for pre-order. I don't know. I'm not collecting those, but NECA has put those up recently. Baxter, Vern, and Rat King have all been available. 1990 TMNT movie. They teased Orokusaki and Hamato Yoshi, which are going up for pre-order soon, with Splinter in the Cage. Terminator 2, the Sarah and John Connor 2-pack, which came out last year. Alien 40th Anniversary, Parker, Brett, Bloody Big Chap, Ash Kane, Regular Big Chap, all came out. Everything NECA showed last year has come out or is currently available for pre-order. Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
For the little toy company that could.
Mm-hmm.
What they showed this year, did you see those Flash Gordon movie homage figures?
Yes.
So here is I try to be nice about toys. I try not to talk too much shit about any toy companies. But Boss Fight Studios put out licensed Flash Gordon movie figures pretty recently. And the likeness on those is, about as good as these not licensed Flash Gordon figures from NECA.
Yeah.
Dude, these things, they showed the 2-pack of Flash and Ming that they do not have the likeness of Max von Sydow or Sam Jones, but they look incredible. The costumes are there. The Packaging is beautiful. I'm all in on these. But they also showed the Defenders of the Earth line will continue. They offered up figures that are an homage to the old, I don't know if it's late 70s or early 80s action figures. Those already went up for pre-order. And then the comic strip versions of the figures of Phantom and Flash Gordon, and I think Ming as well. Tons of stuff they're doing with this Defenders of the Earth line that I think is very cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think
do you have any of those first ones?
I got the Flash Gordon. I wanted the Phantom and the Ming, but I've never seen them in stores.
Yeah, I was waiting to see them, and I've never seen them.
Flash I saw in store. He looks great. You can see the review on the Needless Things YouTube channel. It's an incredible figure. The articulation, a lot of the big problems with NECA is you might bend that elbow joint and snap the arm off.
Mm-hmm.
This guy did not have that problem. It's a great buck. Looks awesome. It's an exciting action figure. It's great. I really like this line. I'm not collecting everything in it, but if I see that comic strip Phantom in stores, I'll get it. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I'll order, as soon as I can, I'll order those movie homage figures because they look incredible.
Yeah, I'll probably get those.
They finally showed us the unmasked Casey Jones figure, which some people are being kind of shitty about. Oh, NECA's double dipping. Well, the problem is Elias Koteas would not sign off on the original Casey Jones figure, and they had it ready to go, so they put it out, not knowing if the actor would ever sign off on his likeness. Well, he did, and we're getting an unmasked Casey, and holy shit.
Like I said before, I don't collect these TMT figures, but I'm probably getting this Casey Jones.
Dude, that Casey, like the Elias Koteas, I followed his career for years because he was Casey Jones in this Ninja Turtles movie.
Mm-hmm.
This figure looks incredible. It's got the bag. It's basically the Casey you've already got, but with that likeness, which I don't care. I need it. I gotta have it.
Yeah, same here.
They showed a new version, which, holy shit, you guys, how much mileage are they going to get out of that Super Shredder?
Now,
this is the third version of Super Shredder.
And I think I've learned, I guess the Walmarts around me get more of those than a lot of places, but there were full end caps of that last Super Shredder here. Just hundreds of them.
The most I saw, because I bought one because at some point, the world is opening back up now. Mm-hmm. And at some point, I will have access to Kevin Nash. So I bought that second version of Super Shredder because I want to get it signed by Kevin Nash at some point. But I saw like maybe 10 of those ever.
Yeah,
but I got one. They were in stores. Again, if you're paying attention, you can get this stuff. Yeah. But now there's another Super Shredder coming that comes with a diorama of the Doc that kills him. He can basically commit suicide by Doc in the movie. Please tune into the Needless Things podcast. We did a needless commentary on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, and discussed the fucking ridiculousness of that scene. And also the turtles, these are turtles acting like they were in peril for having to dive into the water. Turtles going into water anyway. So another Super Shredder, another opportunity, which, by the way, that Super Shredder figure is incredible.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So if you don't have it, get one of these mini versions they're doing. And then they're also releasing a version of just regular ass Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, which is different. He's more purple. His helmet has the he goes and does the like saw blade look on the top of his helmet. It is a different figure. So that one's worth having. But 1990 TMNT, that's my jam. I'm going to buy pretty much anything new they do from that. Or the second movie as well, Secret of the Ooze as well. Even though that movie kind of sucks, like I'll buy stuff from that too. And my gosh, if they don't do a Vanilla Ice figure, what the fuck is the world even? What's the point of anything?
And it can't be like Vanilla Ice is holding on to his likeness or anything.
No,
like,
you know he'd be up for it.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping for is we get a 7-inch of, because NECA has been working with Sacred Bones Records. They've been working with Shout Factory. So here's what I want. I want a Shout Factory release of Secret of the Ooze on Blu-ray that comes with a 7-inch of Ninja Rap and a Vanilla Ice action figure.
That'd be awesome.
That's what we need. That's what the world needs right now to make everything better. All right. We already knew that NECA has these Gargoyles figures coming.
Oh, God, they're beautiful.
Dude, all right. So in 90, is it 93 or 4 when Gargoyles starts?
I think it's 3.
I don't know. It's right around, I'm on my way. I'm in my second half of high school. So like I'm not really paying as much attention to cartoons as I once was, but Gargoyles gets me.
Me too.
I'm in. And like I don't want to buy these, but holy shit, dude. You show me that Goliath, and now they're showing Demona.
Yeah.
Which awesome character, but also at the time you're like, how is Disney producing like sexy gargoyle loincloth lady?
Mm-hmm.
So this figure looks absolutely incredible, and I want to collect this line. And Randy Falk has already said that they've got, I think, 7 or 8 figures designed for this line. Now, unfortunately, one of them is already a retooling of Goliath. It's one of the, I think it's from later in the series. It's like an evil version of Goliath or something.
Yeah.
Which I get it. NECA has to do stuff like that, but I don't care about that. I want Broadway. I want Brooklyn.
You know what I'll say about these two when they first reveal it, because I mean, Goliath is huge. The wingspan. He's just a big figure.
Yeah.
And you can pre-order these things for $30 on Big Bad Toy Store, which I thought they were going to be 50 easy.
Right. The pricing, and that's one thing that gets overlooked a lot, I think, is NECA's pricing. You get the Back to the Future 2 Marty McFly, and it's $26.99, $27.99, whatever it is at Target. But it's this fully articulated figure with the hoverboard, with a stand, with multiple portraits, tons of hands, tons of accessories, like all of the extra stuff you're getting with these figures for under $30 is crazy.
Especially like comparing it to Marvel Legends.
To a Marvel Legends figure.
Only a few dollars cheaper at this point.
Right. It's pretty wild what NECA is putting out there. And I've always said that about them, because even back in the day, years ago, their Alien and Predator figures were like $17.99, under $20. And this is before they were doing Ultimates. Just a bargain. All right, moving on for NECA. 7-inch Dr. Loomis and Michael from Halloween 2. They did the retro sort of Migos style ones, but now they're finally going back and redoing Loomis and Michael Myers, because I've got the original set that they did that came with the porch. Now they're doing them in Ultimate style, which I'll have to upgrade. They look fantastic. They showed us Griff Tannen from Back to the Future 2. Although I will say this, I've been buying the Back to the Future figures here and there. Griff is not one that I want, but as soon as they do Buford Mad Dog Tannen, well, all of the Back to the Future 3 figures, I'm all in.
Yeah, I look at those. I don't get them, but there are a couple that, if they do Mad Dog, I may be buy Mad Dog. I will buy Biff Tannen from Biff Tannen's Pleasure Paradise. I
Yes,
will
yes, that would be a good
100%.
one too.
And I will buy multiple of that figure. I'll get him in his suit. I'll get him in his gold lame robe. I will get many.
And then the Doc Brown that I was waiting for that they delivered on the 2015 Doc Brown that comes back, like that was the one, that was the Doc Brown that I wanted. But again, as soon as they get into Back to the Future 3, dude, I'm buying them all, because Cowboy Back to the Future, I feel like that movie's so underrated. I don't know why. I just love Back to the Future 3 so much.
I think if they hold off and do Back to the Future 3 next year, and then for a San Diego Comic-Con
The
exclusive.
ZZ Top box set?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I would buy that.
Yes. Which, rest in peace, Dusty Hill.
Yeah.
Fucking tragic. ZZ Top, one of the greatest rock and roll bands of all time. I'll put them up against AC/DC, Metallica, anybody you want. I'll put ZZ Top up against them.
I cannot tell you, at least 4 to 5 times a week, that song is stuck in my head. And I'll just be walking around and I'm like, do, 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 do. And I'm
double
like,
back again. Dude, this shit's great. But Griff Tannen looks awesome. He comes with the big giant, his whatever the you know what?
The Mad Dog. You gotta have
right
power.
And I just realized that dog theme carries through. I never even thought about that before. Yeah. Holy shit. Okay.
There's so many things in those movies that are just small details. That
they're brilliant. They're brilliant. You got to watch all three. You can't watch just one of them.
No.
They also showed 1985 Doc Brown, which is in the jumpsuit with the plutonium. But they have not yet showed Einstein.
Yeah, it seems like a weird omission.
Well, I think what they're probably going to do is a Back to the Future accessory pack, like they've done with Ninja Turtles.
And they announced a Gremlins one at San Diego.
Right. So I think we're probably going to get a Back to the Future accessory pack that comes with Einstein and some other stuff.
Yeah, like a 1950s scooter would be really good that he breaks off to make a skateboard. That'd be awesome.
That would be great. Let's see. They showed so they did the Creep from the modern Creep Show, but they're doing the Creep from the original Creep Show movie. Chucky and Tiffany in the Migos style, which they did a Migos style Chucky, but this is going to be like sort of an ultimate soft goods Chucky and Tiffany. And then of course, because they're NECA, we got McCready in the parka and the snow gear and the hat, but we've got to have our leather jacket station survivor McCready that comes with the blood, the petri dish with the blood jumping out of it, and like the flamethrower. Like, I'm gonna buy any Kurt Russell figure you throw my way.
Yeah.
I just am. Once somebody gets around, which hopefully it'll be NECA. Once NECA gets around to making Big Trouble in Little China figures, I'm going to buy parka Kurt Russell. I'm going to buy tank top Kurt Russell. I'm going to buy nerd suit glasses going into the whorehouse Kurt Russell. I'll buy them all. I'm a sucker. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. What did you have in note wise? Did you have anything in there?
For NECA, yeah. So, well, of course, just to mention, NECA also put out their continued line of Predator figures. Keep milking that cow, NECA. Never let it go.
Right. Redoing all of the Lost Tribe figures.
Yep.
As ultimates.
One of the most exciting things I saw from NECA was just a prototype head sculpt of Matt Hooper.
Yes. Okay, but dude, how tumultuous has this been? The Quint figure is out now, and I had pretty much given up on, because I got, and this is a dumb comparison, but we as toy collectors have to justify these things. I have the Funko Jaws figures. I got the reaction figures where they did Hooper, Quint, and Roy Scheider, whatever the fuck his name is, Brody. And I got the shark, and I also got the Comic-Con exclusive shark that has Quint in its mouth. So, like, I have a Jaws set. And when NECA first announced these retro Mego style figures, they thought they were going to be able to do Quint, Brody, and Hooper. And then they said, well, Roy Scheider's estate backed out. And then they said, well, Richard Dreyfuss's estate backed out. So now all we're getting is Quint and potentially the shark, Bruce. And I was like, you know what? There's so much shit I'm buying. I'm out. I can't do it. Well, then Quint comes out. Quint looks incredible. And then NECA shows these like test shot photos of Bruce. Giant Bruce. And I'm like, oh shit. And then they show Hooper, which Dreyfuss's people were out. I think I said Dreyfuss's estate. He's still alive.
I know. I had to stop and think for a minute. I was like, shoot, did Dreyfuss die?
Dreyfuss's people are still out. But then they show his sculpt, and Hooper's coming. So I'm like, shit, Quint is out now. They're still working on the shark. They announced Hooper. So if I get Quint and Hooper and the shark, that's enough. But they're still probably working with Scheider's people. So now I'm like, damn it, I want a Quint. Big Bad Toy Store sold out. But you got to think Target gets all of this. They get Bill and Ted. They even got the freaking Nightbreed guy. So you know Target is going to get this Jaws Quint figure.
Now, I would add one more figure. If I was going to get a whole Jaws display, and I would probably actually just buy this anyway.
Do you get Harry with his hat?
I would really like a Mayor Larry Vaughn.
Oh, that would be great.
And just so, like, every once in a while when I see something on the news, I can pop him up and like, we're going to open the beaches.
But now, so NECA lost me, but now I'm back in. So I've got to track down this Quint figure, which I imagine will be showing up in Targets. And Hooper, once it goes up, I'm in, because now they've shown enough of the shark where I feel like we're gonna get the shark. It's going to be a better foam than that damn Stay Puft that Mattel made.
Oh God!
But I think it'll be a similar type of foam, like an armature under a foam. I don't know, but man, Jaws, one of the greatest movies of all time. I got to get in on this.
Yeah.
Where the hell am I going to put this damn 18-inch long shark? 24-inch. How big is this damn thing going to be? Because the figures are 8-inch.
I bet 24.
Jaws is 20 feet long. So this is gonna need to be like a 26-inch long shark.
Yeah.
What the hell am I gonna do with that? I'm gonna hang it from the ceiling. I don't know. All right, we got to move on. We got one last little thing I wanted to wrap up. To me, the winner of all the announcements, Mattel.
I know it before you say it.
Mattel showed, as part of their WWE Hollywood line, Andre the Giant is Bigfoot from the $6 Million Man. What could be better than that, really?
I do not collect a single wrestling figure. I have not watched wrestling in probably 10 to 15 years. I will own the Andre the Giant Bigfoot figure.
Dude, I feel like out of everything, this figure appeals to the broadest spectrum of people as a novelty, as a genuine nostalgia thing, as just a weird item. There's so many different reasons to want this figure. My gosh.
that second wave of the WWE Hollywood figures, the first one, you've got the Piper from They Live. That's fine.
Which is appealing to a pretty decent amount of people.
Yeah, and so I just like imagine them in a meeting. And they're like, all right, we're going to do Piper from They Live. They're like, oh, yeah. Let's do John Cena from Fast and Furious. That'll sell great. Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody loves John Cena.
Yeah. And then what's the other? Oh, and The Rock from Hobbs and Shaw. Also, yeah.
Of course. It's The Rock.
Like, well, let's talk about the second wave. and then the guy in the back's like, well, how about we keep with Hobbs and Shaw and do Roman Reigns? And they're like, yeah, everybody loves Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
And then it gets weird because they're like, we're going to do a Bigfoot Andre the Giant and then follow it up with The Rock is the Scorpion King.
I feel like Rock is Scorpion King is kind of a no-brainer. If you're doing a Hollywood line, I get it. It makes sense. It was Rock's breakout role. It was the first step of Rock being who he is now. And then, 20 years from now, we'll have a President Rock action figure.
I just hope they followed up with the deluxe, like him as the big scorpion.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. That would be a Comic-Con exclusive.
Yeah.
Shitty CGI Scorpion Rock.
Oh, but yeah, this Bigfoot is just...
It's incredible. It's as close as we're ever going to get to a Jim Stacy action figure.
It's so true. Maybe I can get a corn dog accessory from Hobby Lobby somehow.
Oh my gosh, I bet you can. Well, except for I think all the Hobby Lobbies are gone now.
No, are they?
Yeah, the ones near us all shut down. I don't know if the company died or if they just shut down the ones in Georgia, but yeah. Because I caught myself the other day. I need some fat gold ropes for a costume I'm doing for Dragon Con. And I was like, I need to run to Hobby Lobby. And I was like, shit, I can't. I guess I got to go to Michael's.
I think the one here is still open because that's where I buy my comic book frames.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, Second and Charles closed too.
Oh, yeah. The one down here is still open.
The Second and Charles by Mall of Georgia is gone. We went out there a few weeks ago. We were like, oh, yeah, we're going to go out there because I've found some crazy toys there, like old stuff that should have cost way more than it did. Mm-hmm. And we went out there a couple weeks ago and it was just gone. It was devastated. All right, so that's pretty much everything I had. Did you have any other?
Yeah, that was all the big stuff I had until HasCon starts.
Right, and we'll be back for HasCon, PulseCon, Marvel, Ghostbuster, G.I. Joe Con, whatever the heck it is. We'll be back to talk about that. But for now, Mr. Schweck, thank you for coming on and talking toys once again.
Always great to be here. For once, I actually have a plug. I used to never have anything.
Oh, yeah. Tell us.
Yeah, you can catch us on Execute Chapter 66, a Star Wars fiction podcast, where we, every 2 weeks, read a new book and talk about it. And then get off topic and talk about when drunk Uncle Lars starts spilling secrets. So.
Awesome. Well, thanks for talking toys, man. And we'll talk again sooner than later.
All right. Thanks.
You have been listening to a Needless Things podcast. You can follow Needless Things on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and at needlessthingspodcast.com. Love you. Mean it. Uh-huh.